Hello everyone. Hopefully you guys can see this. I was having problems with my phone, so it's a little bit late there. Okay, so thank you for stopping by Quietfire Design for another Facebook Live. We appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully you will enjoy the project this week. It is called Coffee and Friends Are the Perfect Blend. It's a sweet little gift card holder, or it could be just given to a friend just like this. But before I get into the card, I just wanted to let Suzanne Cannon know that I was thinking of her. She has been in Hawaii for a couple weeks now, which is why I've taken over the Facebook Live. So I made this cute little Hawaii themed card with a little palm tree and one of her beautiful Thinking of You stamps. So thinking of you, Suzanne. Hope you had a fun time. Okay, so again, thank you for stopping by. I sure hope that you stop by Quietfire Creations. On Quietfire Creations, it's the blog spot where the designers like to share projects using Suzanne Cannon product. And then we also have the Quietfire Digital, and this is a blog dedicated just for Suzanne's designed digital files. And then we have the ECD blog, where designers share some of Suzanne's products used on projects using some of her dies and her clear stamps. And of course you found us here on the Quietfire Design page. Again, thank you for stopping by. But don't forget to stop by the Suzanne Cannon fan page. It's a great little place where fans of Suzanne get to go and share projects. Not just design team members, but anyone can share a project on there using one of Suzanne's products. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask one of us on any of the sites or contact Suzanne. For example, on Sunday, I shared on the fan page a project I was working on. I was making this sweet little birthday card for someone, and I said, "Oh, what's on your desk?" And then Christine commented about how she wanted to know how this was made. And so a few hours later, what I did was I did a quick little Facebook Live on how to create the background, and then I also talked about some other stamps that would work well with that technique. So feel free to ask questions anytime, and again, we'd love to see you share your projects on that site. So don't forget about the newsletter. This is another great way to keep in touch with what's going on with Suzanne. In the newsletter, she will share some recent projects, some new product that might be coming out, and then also if there's any sales coming up, and we all love sales. And there is a new spot on the Quietfire site. It's called Leathers Live. So basically, anything that you see on these Facebook Lives, Suzanne makes it really handy for us to go to her site and find those products quickly. And if you miss a Facebook Live, or if you want to go back to previous videos, you can check out the YouTube site for Quietfire Design. All the videos from every Facebook Live will be there, and some other videos too, so we do hope you pop by there, and also subscribe to the channel too. And again, Suzanne's on a 2-week break, so these hands, which are usually typing comments and saying hi to everyone, they're here creating this project. And so my husband, again, has volunteered to do all the links, so thank you, Greg. Really appreciate it. Okay, so so let's go ahead and start with the card. Again, this is a sweet little coffee card that can be given to friends. I stuck with darker tones. I thought it looked good with the coffee colors, but you could make it brighter if you wanted to make it brighter for a girlfriend or something like that. So on the outside, we have the Coffee and Friends stamp. And then on the inside, we have, I don't need an inspirational quote, I need coffee, and then this sweet little coffee cup. And some other stamps, which you might not know this, but I'll point out to you here. We have a ring stamp from like a coffee cup, and we also have some blots. So the stamps used on this card is actually from two different sets. The first one is from the But First Coffee set. Now this is a set of 8 stamps. They're rubber stamps and they have the foam backing. And then the other stamp set is from T and The. And this is also a multi-stamp. There's 7 stamps with this, and again, these also have the foam backing. These are two great little sets, and I know they get a lot of use in my craft room. Okay, so what else you'll need for this is you'll need to have your base. I use this pattern paper. It's a denim pattern, and you'll need some watercolor paper and some regular cardstock. The inks I used are from Spectrum Noir. I used 2 of the water reactive dyes in Friar Brown and Seal Brown, and then I used the coordinating quick dry dye ink. This is Seal Brown. You'll also need some stamping blocks. I used 2 just to make it handy. A couple stamp platforms, or 1 stamp platform would be great, and then the usual double-sided adhesive, foam tape, scissors, glue, heat tool, and then I also have a seam binding set aside so that I can dye that later. Okay, so my card is, I'll show this again, my card is 5.5 by 5.5. It's a tent fold card. And what I've done is, I've gone ahead and I've assembled the pattern paper to my top fold card. And this is just 5.25 by 5.25. So the paper itself, the watercolor paper, I cut this to 5.5 by 5 by 5. So on my craft mat, I'm going to stamp just the Friar Brown. Just give it one little stamp there. And then I'm going to take the Seal Brown and just do a little stamp just outside of it. I don't want the colors to mix there. And so I'm just going to take a little bit of water. The more you use, the less bold your colors will be, and so that means that you'll have like a lighter coffee color, or like almost I guess a light tea. So I'm just going to do one little squirt on this. Oops, I sprayed the wrong way. There we go. And there's different ways you can do this, but I like to make sure that I have some white still showing. And so I just run it through once. Oops. Maybe I need one more spritz. Okay, I'll try that again. So I'll run it through once. Maybe one more time there. So basically, you just keep doing this until you get the look the way you want it. And I didn't use enough ink on this, so I'm just going to put a little bit more on my mat. There we go. So I'm just going to run it through this way. Oh yeah, that's a nice, cool, dark color there. It's a little bit of cat hair. And what you can also do too is just kind of tap it. You get different results with that too. But the more you run it through, the more the colors mix together and you don't get some of the cool like little patterns on your watercolor paper. So I'm going to set this aside for a second, and I'm just going to take my seam binding, a little bit of water again, and just kind of run that seam binding through. Because what I want to do is I don't want to waste any of that pretty ink. I'll set that aside to dry. And I like the way this looks, so I'm just going to heat dry this. My heat tool is getting very loud. Okay, so that's pretty good. So now I'm going to use the ring and the blots. So I'll take my quick dry ink. I'm just going to randomly stamp this, whoops, over my background. Don't forget to turn this too. Adds a little bit more randomness to it. Okay, so I have those, and now I'm just going to do random blots. I'll put some more on this side. Very cool. Okay, so now I have my background. I'm just going to give it just one quick dry so I'll get ink on my fingers. Okay, so now I get to tear this so that I can create this little pocket there. And so I think I think I'm going to tear this side. So if you pull your tear up, you're going to see white. If you pull it down, you're not going to see white or as much white. I want to see the white, so it brings out the white in the paper, so I'm going to tear this up. Okay, so now we have cut out for a little pocket. So I'd like to mount this on the front of the card, but I want to make sure too that I leave a pocket for the gift card, right? So that means when I put the tape down, I want to make sure that I'm not taping in this area, but I do want to make sure that I have my tape stop there, so this way if you do get a card and put it in there, it's not going to slide all the way in. What I also like to do is I like to use a really good tape for the back of watercolor paper, just because some tapes don't adhere as well to the watercolor paper. So I like using the good stuff. Probably should have gone with thinner paper or tape. Okay. So, just gonna. Oh, sorry, Suzanne. The kind of paper that I'm using watercolor paper here. The cardstock, I think, is from, no, I know it's Recollections, that 100-pound paper. And then the pattern paper, it's a really old 6x6 padded paper from My Mind's Eye. I think it's called All Dolled Up. It's really cool paper, though. I like the denim. Oh, hi, Laura. Laura Tree. We are making a sweet little coffee gift card. We've already played with some water reactive ink. We used some of Suzanne's stamps on the front. And now we're about to add some more of Suzanne's stamps. Hi, Judy. Okay, so let's make sure that the gift card still fits there. Yep, definitely does. Okay, so the next step is I'd like to put the Coffee and Friends Are the Perfect Blend stamp on there. So for this, I already have my stamp pad set up. And I'm using the Quick Dry ink again in Seal Brown. This is a really juicy ink. Quite impressed with how well this quick dry ink looks. Let's see, I need to space that out just a little bit more. There we go. Yes, Suzanne, it's time for Timmy's coffee. I made this for one of my friends for her birthday, and I put a little Timmy's gift card in there, and she was so happy with it. And what I did was, I didn't sign the inside, because I told her that if she wanted to pay it forward to another friend, that she could do that. So it worked out really well. Okay, and what I'm doing is, I've got this on foam tape. What I did was I did a little matte stack of the brown and some more of that denim paper. And I'm going to mount it there just like that. So take more of this really good tape. Oh, the ink, that is the Spectrum Noir ink. It's the Quick Dry dye ink. That's what I used on the stamps. And then to create the background, I used the Spectrum Noir water reactive dye ink. And with these two, like what I like about it is that they have the same color in the quick dry and in the water reactive. Okay, so I'm using the double-faced foam tape. I do have a lot of stamp positioners. I think I have 3 or 4. Okay, so that's the front. So on the inside, like I said, I'm using the I don't need an inspirational quote. I need coffee and then that cute little cup. So I'm going to take out my other stamp positioner. I already have these set up the way I want them. And again, I'm using the Seal Brown. Okay. Yeah, Laura, the water reactive dye is similar to the Distress ink. I'm not sure how many colors there are, but, oh no, I stamped it upside down. Oh my gosh! Okay, let me fix this stamp. That is awesome. Maybe I needed coffee when I set my stamp thing up. That's fantastic. Okay, one more time. Oh man, that was great. You know, if you can't laugh at yourself, then, well, I guess you gotta laugh at others, but that's just kind of mean, so just laugh at yourself. Okay, so there we go. We'll do that one more time. I might have gone off my paper a little bit, unless I did that too fast. Okay, but you guys get what I'm doing there. I don't have another piece of paper cut, so that adheres to the inside. Okay, so on the outside, the first time I did this, I just had some seam binding, and I just made a double bow, and I just adhered it on. But don't forget, we just created a little ribbon using some of the water reactive dye, and I just set it aside. It's still not dry yet, but I did make one earlier, and this is one where there's a lot of brown, and gosh, I think it's really pretty. Such a good color, and seam binding is awesome because it's so easy to just dye and just make whatever you want to coordinate it. Okay, so I'm using my liquid glue, and I make sure to get the bows and a little bit of the tails. Now, isn't it super cute? I really like this. It's fun, and yeah, it's just a great way to give a gift card to a friend, or you know, it's that time of year where we're getting out and seeing our friends more, right? And this would be a perfect way to invite one of your friends out for a coffee somewhere. So that's the card. It's really quick, it's really fun, and this would be a fun little project too to make with the kiddos, just make the backgrounds. So does anyone have any questions about the card? Or any questions about the stamps? Again, I use the T and D set and the But First coffee set. This one has 8 stamps, and this one has 7. So they're quite awesome. Oh, okay, Laura, so the rings there and the blots, they came from the T set, and this is one SKU, and then the other set with the coffee sentiments in it, or quotes, that's from a different set, and that's from the But First coffee. Oh, thanks, Sharon. Yeah, I like these colors. I really like the navy blue with the browns. And you know, this would be a fun one to give, you know, like your dad too at a Father's Day or for a birthday gift. Any other questions? Oh, that's good, Laura. Yeah, they're great little stamp sets. Okay, well, thank you very much for stopping by. I really hope you enjoyed the project. And don't forget to stop by Quietfire Creations for some inspiration. Oh, and don't forget to go to the Suzanne Cannon fan page. We'd love to have you as part of the group, and, you know, just to see what you do, and You know, it's a happy little group sharing happy little projects. And don't forget, if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask any of us, and we'll get back to you. And like I said, if you're on the fan page and if you see something that I make, and if you want me to do a little tutorial on how to do it, I'm more than happy to do it. So thanks everyone for stopping by. I hope you have a happy, crafty day. Bye.